Have you ever worried about not finding peace and happiness? Many people think that if they practice a certain religion or adopt a specific philosophy, they will achieve it. But sometimes it just doesn't work for them. Some try to follow artistic ideals, only to find out it doesn't really help. It can be discouraging, and they might feel like giving up. Do you ever feel like there's no way to escape sadness and pain? Are happiness and prosperity just distant dreams? Well, James Allen, a big name in self-improvement, is here to show you how to make it happen. There's a process to permanently get rid of sickness and poverty. There's a method to be prosperous forever, so you won't have to face adversity again. This video will walk you through it. Hang in there until the finish because you wouldn't want to miss out on any of the final tips. And if you want more valuable information to transform your life, hit the subscribe button. Now let's start. James Allen was a writer from Britain in the last century, and he's famous for his inspiring books. He's like the pioneer, or the first person, to really kick off the self-help movement. His books have helped lots of people since he published his first one in 1901. Other authors who want to help people get better at things also find inspiration in his teachings. So if you pay attention to James Allen, you get a collection of advice from the best motivational speakers and coaches. In these 3 lessons, you'll get to hear from him. There are some tips that you can use right away, and they can give you really good results. Let's start with the first of these 3 lessons. Lesson 1. Here's the first thing you should know. The dark things that make your life hard are pain, worry, and suffering. Everyone's heart has felt pain, and everyone's mind has been filled with worries. Tears of sadness have fallen from every pair of eyes. At any moment, sickness and death can come into your home, breaking hearts and bringing grief. Sooner or later, we all face the tough parts of life, and that's when pain, helplessness, and misfortune show up. To escape from this intense sadness, or at least make it less, you and others try different things. Some people turn to alcohol or risky relationships for excitement. Others choose to live in a world of luxury, avoiding the problems of the real world. Some chase after fame and fortune no matter what, while others find comfort in religious rituals. Happiness, the thing everyone wishes for, might come like a soft whisper. For a while, you feel safe and forget about the bad things. But one day, an illness, a big sadness, a challenge, or some bad luck breaks into your vulnerable soul, and the happiness you imagined falls apart into 1,000 pieces. So, above every happy moment you have, there's this danger of pain, ready to ruin everything if you don't have the protection of knowledge. It happens to everyone. When you're a kid, you dream of being a grown-up, but when you grow up, sometimes you miss the joy of being a child. If you're not rich, you feel stuck in the problems of not having enough, and if you are rich, you worry about losing it all or searching for happiness everywhere. At times, you might feel like you've found peace and happiness by following a religion, adopting a philosophy, or chasing after artistic and intellectual dreams. But there's always a restlessness that shows religion isn't enough, philosophy doesn't help much, and dreams fall apart. So, is there a way to escape from pain? Can you break free from the problems that bother you? Is lasting happiness and peace just a dream? Yes, there is a way, and I'm happy to tell you, to get rid of problems forever. There's a method to push away sickness, poverty, and every issue, and make sure you have lasting prosperity. There's also a practice to achieve and share constant peace and happiness. To make this happen, you first need to really know what bad things are. Ignoring them won't be enough. You have to understand them. Just telling them to go away won't work. You need to figure out why they showed up and what they're trying to teach you. Getting worried, angry, or trying to fight against the things bothering you won't help at all. What you really need to do is understand why and how you got stuck with these problems. So, my friend, step outside yourself and start looking at and understanding who you are. Think of life as a school. Instead of being a stubborn student, Start learning the lessons for your own growth with humility and patience. When you truly understand what's bothering you, it stops being this big, never-ending problem. It becomes just a phase in your life, a teacher for those who are ready to learn. These bad things are not some vague stuff outside of you, they're experiences in your own heart. By patiently looking at and fixing them, you'll slowly figure out where they came from and what they really are until they disappear completely. Any problem you face can be fixed. It's not forever. The root cause is not understanding things properly. It's like not knowing the real deal. As long as you're stuck in not knowing, you'll be stuck with problems. Every issue in the world comes from not knowing something. If you're ready to learn, every problem can teach you something important and then just go away. But some folks stay stuck with problems because they don't want to learn the lesson that comes with it, or they're not ready for it. Let me tell you about a kid who cried every night to play with a candle. One night, the mom got distracted, and the kid took the candle. What you'd expect happened. The kid got burned. After that, the kid stopped playing with the candle. With that simple act, the kid learned perfectly what it means to follow rules and understood that fire can burn. This story shows exactly what all mistakes and wrong actions are about, their nature, what they mean, and what happens as a result. Just like you learned about the true nature of fire because you didn't know, grown-ups also suffer because they don't really understand what they're chasing after and fighting for. Those things end up hurting them when they get them. The only difference is that not knowing and problems are more deeply stuck and hidden in their case. Evil has always been represented by darkness and good by light. These symbols perfectly show the reality. Just as light always fills the whole universe, and darkness is just a small shadow caused by something blocking some rays of light, the light of the supreme good is the positive and powerful force that fills everything. Evil is just a tiny shadow caused by our own selfishness blocking the bright rays. When nighttime covers the world with its dark blanket, even if it's really dark, it only covers a small part of our planet. At the same time, the rest of the universe is shining with life, and we all know that we'll wake up to the light of a new morning. So, you need to know that when you feel really bad or in pain, and it seems like everything is falling apart, it's because there's this dark time standing between what you want and the endless light of happiness. The shadow covering you is not from someone else. It's created by your own self. Just like the darkness outside is only a negative shadow, not real and coming from nowhere, the darkness inside is also just a negative shadow passing through your evolved soul that was born from light. You might wonder, why deal with this dark stuff? The answer is simple. Because of not knowing, you ended up on this path. So maybe, by going through the tough times, you can understand both good and bad, and you'll value the light more once you get out of the darkness. Evil is basically just not knowing things right. If you learn the lessons from tough times, not knowing goes away, and wisdom takes its place. But if you act like a stubborn kid in school and don't learn from your experiences, you might get stuck in a never-ending dark cycle, facing troubles over and over again. If you want to break free from the problems around you, you have to be open to learning. It's like going through a process of training to get long-lasting wisdom, peace, and happiness. Imagine being in a dark room and saying there's no light. But the truth is, light is everywhere, and darkness only exists in your small room. You can either keep the truth out or break down the walls of bias, selfishness, and mistakes you built, letting the amazing and always there light into your life. Realizing that tough times are just a phase, a shadow we create ourselves, is super important. All the hard stuff you go through is like following a perfect rule. You have to face them because you need to and deserve to. By going through and understanding them, you become stronger, smarter, and better. Once you really get this, you'll be ready to shape your life, turn bad things into good, and expertly create your own destiny. Lesson 2. The world reflects how you feel inside. Your world is shaped by what you choose. Everything around you comes from what you feel inside. What's outside isn't that important. It's just showing what's inside you. What really matters is what you carry within, because that will show up and color everything outside. All the things you know come from your own experiences. Any new knowledge you get has to go through your experiences to become a part of you. Your thoughts, wishes, and dreams are the builders of your world. Inside you there's happiness, beauty, but also sadness and pain. It's all there. With your thoughts, you can make or break your life, your world, and your whole universe. Similarly, your outer life and what happens to you will shape up based on what you build within yourself, using the power of your thoughts. What you keep in your heart will eventually become real in your outer life, following this thing called the law of attraction. A soul that's impure, selfish, and not so great will pull in bad luck and disasters pretty accurately. But a soul that's pure, selfless, and noble will attract happiness and success just as precisely. Every soul gets what it deserves, and only things that match with it can come its way. Understanding this is like recognizing the universal rule of divine law. What's happening in your life, whether good or bad, is determined by the quality and power of what's going on inside you. Every soul is like a mix of all the experiences and thoughts it has had. The body is just the thing that shows them. So, you are pretty much what you think. The world around you, living or not, will look the way your thoughts see it. What you become is based on what you think, just like Buddha said. If you're happy, it's because you have happy thoughts. If you're unhappy, it's because you hold on to thoughts that bring you down. Whether you're feeling scared, brave, ignorant, smart, uneasy, or calm, it all depends on what's happening inside you, not from things outside. You might wonder, but don't outside situations affect our mind? I'm not saying they don't, but what I mean is they only affect you as much as you let them. If you feel like life is controlling you, it's because you don't quite get how powerful your thoughts are. If you believe outside situations have the power to make or break your life, you're giving in to them. Seeing external situations as your boss and you their follower lets you be controlled by the sadness or joy, fear or hope, strength or weakness that your thoughts have created. I once knew two guys who lost all their money. One guy got really worried, feeling super sad and hopeless. The other guy, even though he lost everything, stayed cool and said, "I lost it all, but I'll work hard to get it back." You started working with a lot of energy, and pretty soon you got back on track with your money. Meanwhile, the other guy just kept complaining about losing his money, and by staying worried about his bad luck, kept being stuck in tough situations, mostly because of his own thoughts of weakness and being trapped. Losing money was like a bad thing for the first guy, who kept thinking negatively and sadly about it. But for the second guy, it was actually a good thing because it made him think about being strong, having hope, and getting new energy. If situations could help or hurt everyone the same way, it would affect everyone in the same way. But the fact that the same situation can be good for some people and bad for others shows that the good or bad is not in the situation, but in the person going through it. When you get this idea, you'll start having control over your thoughts, manage your mind, and rebuild the inner part of your soul. Then you'll be able to get rid of the useless stuff and only keep thoughts of joy, calmness, strength, life, caring, love, beauty, and living forever. By doing this, you'll become happy, calm, strong, healthy, caring, loving, and you'll feel the beauty of living forever. Just like we put our own thoughts on events, we also shape everything we see around us. Some people see harmony and beauty, while others see something they find really ugly. Once, a nature lover found a pond near a barn while exploring the countryside. As I filled a small bottle with water to examine it under a microscope, I talked to a farmer's son. I shared, "This pond holds hundreds or even millions of tiny universes. If we had the right tools, we could explore them." But the young man, who didn't know much, said, "I know there are tadpoles in the water, but they're easy to catch. With my knowledge, I saw the mystery and wonder behind the beauty, but the young man only saw a dirty mud puddle. When someone accidentally steps on a flower, a poet might see it as a message from angels. For a musician, the ocean is like a living thing that brings divine melodies. Even in chaos, a philosopher finds a perfect order of cause and effect. While some might only see death, a mystic believes in life that goes on forever. Just like we wrap the things around us with our thoughts, we also affect other people's souls. If someone is always distrustful, they think everyone else is too. A liar might find it hard to believe in honesty. An envious person sees envy in everyone. Someone who hoards wealth lives in fear, and someone who is promiscuous might think that a good person is just pretending. When you live with thoughts of love, you bring out love and understanding in others. If you trust and are honest, you don't suspect others. Being good and generous makes you happy for others' good luck without feeling jealous. If you've understood the divine part inside you, you can see it in all living things, even in animals. People have noticed that their thoughts attract what they want through the law of cause and effect. They also tend to connect with people who are similar to them, like the saying "birds of a feather flock together" suggests. In the world of thoughts, everyone hangs out with their own kind. If you want kindness, be kind. If you want truth, be truthful. What you give out, you get back. Your world is like a mirror showing yourself. If you pray and hope for a happy world after this life, here's some good news. You can actually make your world happy right now. This happy world is everywhere, and it's inside you. You just need to find it, recognize it, and make it yours. Someone wise once said, "When people tell you, 'Look here' or 'Look there,' don't follow them, because the kingdom of God is inside you. You have to believe it with no doubt and think about it to get it. You'll start cleaning up yourself and creating your inside world. You'll see how things outside don't really matter compared to the amazing power of a soul that controls itself." What do you think about what you have discovered so far? If you don't want to miss any tips to succeed in your personal and professional life, hit the subscribe button.